Iron Maiden's lead singer has ruffled more than a few feathers over the years, and some musicians think Bruce Dickinson's last name would be more accurate if he took a few letters off the end of it. There are a number of high-profile stars who don't like Ozzy Osbourne. However, Oz appears to be someone who doesn't hold too many grudges, unless your name is Bruce Dickinson. Apparently, the two had some bad blood going into Ozzfest in 2005, but that year was when their feud kicked into high gear, since Dickinson decided to use his platform at Ozzfest to lay into Osbourne, the Osbournes reality show, and the tour itself. Osbourne said in a 2010 interview that he didn't understand where the issues stemmed from. He explained how no one had told him about what Dickinson had said until Iron Maiden's bassist Steve Harris apologized for his frontman's behavior. Ozzy added how his wife, Sharon, was upset about the whole ordeal, and he totally understood. He said, "But you know what? Maiden were getting a few quid out of that Ozzfest. If you've got something to talk to me about, be a man. Come to my face and say, I think you're a It's so pathetically childish." In 2024, Osbourne still wasn't over the incident when he spoke to Billboard, adding how it always appeared like Dickinson wanted to be anywhere else except on stage at Ozzfest, saying, "It's pretty stupid if you accept the gig and all you do is complain about it." As one of the brains behind Ozzfest, Sharon Osbourne was never going to react kindly to someone trashing the festival and besmirching her family's name. So when Dickinson decided to do all of those things on stage, he earned himself the ire of Osbourne. As Osbourne told Billboard in 2024, she didn't resent Iron Maiden for the incident, only Dickinson. She said, "It was just the singer. The other guys in the band are great people. No problem at all. But when you've got a singer that is so eaten up with jealousy for the headliner, it never goes well." During Maiden's final performance, Sharon arranged for the power to be cut, while a section of the crowd hurled eggs and other items at the band on stage. Then, Osbourne took to the stage to slam Dickinson for his behavior. In 2017, while speaking to NME, Dickinson claimed his beef with the Osbournes was nothing more than a complete storm in a teacup, and that he respected Black Sabbath and Ozzy for their musical achievements, but he disliked reality shows and wasn't prepared to apologize for that. In a 2022 interview with Consequence, Sharon revealed her sentiment towards Dickinson hadn't softened in the 17 years since the incident. Motley Crue's bassist Nikki Sixx appears to get a kick out of taunting Dickinson for an event that allegedly happened years ago. In the Crue's memoir, The Dirt, Confessions of the World's Most Notorious Rock Band, Sixx said that he slept with Dickinson's then-wife during a tour of England when the Crue performed with Iron Maiden, though he didn't know she was married to Dickinson at the time. In a 2007 interview with Howard Stern, Sixx laughed about it when it was brought up.
Because I think I wasn't the only guy.
In a separate conversation with Blender in the same year, Sixx claimed that he had heard Dickinson's song Tattooed Millionaire was written about him because of the incident. Dickinson never addressed Sixx's claims head-on, but he harbored harsh words for Motley Crue in a 2007 interview with the Herald Sun. He equated the group to a circus freak and famous for being famous. While promoting his autobiography, What Does This Button Do in 2017, Dickinson took a thinly veiled dig at Sixx and the Crue again, telling Rolling Stone, "I don't need to indulge in the salacious stuff or tittle-tattle. There's no point. It's not the dirt." There are three certainties at every heavy metal show: headbanging, sweaty people, and the lingering smell of marijuana. For Dickinson, though, the last one annoys him in particular. During a 2022 Iron Maiden show, Dickinson decided to rail against a concertgoer who dared to light and puff before him. After throwing obscenities at the attendee, Dickinson said that both he and bassist Steve Harris despise it and how it impacts their performance. It wasn't the only time on the tour that Dickinson would air his displeasure for marijuana. Expectedly, Dickinson's comments attracted scrutiny from the heavy metal community. One notable commentator was Hatebreed's vocalist, Jamey Jasta. Taking to X, Jasta started off his reply by praising Dickinson as a singer and reminding fans of when Hatebreed toured with Dickinson's son Austin, who formerly fronted the band Rise to Remain. However, Jasta couldn't resist poking fun at Dickinson for being seemingly upset about Much Ado About Nothing, adding, "Just so you know, lots of people like to smoke weed at outdoor concerts. What doesn't annoy you, bro, besides flying planes? LOL, you might need a puff or two."
All the usual niceties on the airplane. It's a non-smoking flight, and keep your seatbelts fastened anytime you're at your seat, just in case of any unexpected lumps and bumps.
In 2016, British people from all walks of life had their opinions on Brexit. Speaking in 2018, Dickinson explained why he voted for the UK to leave the EU.
I think it will enhance our economic capabilities, and that's good for us.
A few years later, Dickinson appeared on Sky News and discussed that while he voted in favor of Brexit, the government's handling of the situation was poor, as there were issues with British musicians touring Europe and vice versa. One person who couldn't resist the opportunity to comment was the Smiths' former guitarist Johnny Marr, who sarcastically posted on X, "A musician supports Brexit, then finds out that Brexit screws musicians, and then complains. Well done, mate." In response to that, Dickinson told classic rock that he should have the right to his own opinion, saying, "It's slightly disturbing that people cannot contemplate that other people have other views contrary to themselves." A lot of heavy metal bands boast about the influence that punk rock had in shaping their music. Dickinson, on the other hand, doesn't appear to be a fan. While discussing music with Frank Turner for The Guardian in 2014, Dickinson said, "The closest the art establishment ever came to embracing metal was punk. The reason they embraced punk was because it was rubbish, and the reason they embraced rubbish was because they could control it." He also said that punk bands lacked the ability to play their instruments. Well, one punk band that had an issue with Dickinson's opinion was one of the defining groups of the genre, Dead Kennedys. Sharing a link to coverage of Dickinson's comments on Facebook, Dead Kennedys added the following caption: "I don't think he has ever heard East Bay Ray play guitar." East Bay Ray, of course, is the longtime guitarist of the punk band. It wouldn't be the only time in which Dickinson would throw shade at punk rock. He also criticized the Sex Pistols for being well-orchestrated darlings of the media in a 2017 conversation with Vice, although he credited Glenn Matlock for being, quote, "the only talent musically in there."